I think one of the first things is that we are shocked. I think as a community we're definitely shocked. The second, and I hope natural feeling, is that, people have lost lives, and that's a real concern, and that's really heartbreaking. So it's a very peaceful community, and to have something of this magnitude, it definitely does shock us as family members. Yeah.
That was my next point as well. You said something of this magnitude. Is this generally an area that is affected by crime?
Yeah, well, crime is everywhere, and one has got to put it into perspective. But in the Ottawa area, if you look in relations with the neighboring community, this is something of a different level. I mean, there's a lot of aggression that's been used in this particular incident. There's obviously, I'm sure there's been some thought or plan behind it, which then does leave us a little bit unsettled as a community, saying that there are people that are obviously contemplating and thinking of these kind of evil doings.
Very disturbed, very saddened that something of that magnitude has happened in Ottawa, that people have lost their lives, and for reasons we are unaware of. People in Ottawa are already talking, worried what is going to happen next. Are we safe? Our safety is also important. We are a peace-loving community. It's an old community, and we have lived with Muslims for years. We know the families very well. So we are very shocked by what has happened today. And I'm not going to speculate, but the concern is that this could be an international politics being played out here in our community, and we want people to come and look into this and find out what's really going on, because we have a Sunni mosque at the bottom, and having spoken to residents who attend the Sunni mosque, they are concerned about what might or could happen tomorrow. There's speculation because there are tensions apparently between the two mosques, and therefore they're feeling a bit unnerved. They're not sure themselves what has transpired, but they are unnerved by what is going on. And if it happened at the Shia mosque at that level, where people's lives have been taken so ruthlessly, so they are also worried. What if there is a retaliation of any sort that could happen to them tomorrow, or not tomorrow, maybe in the near future? So we need someone to give us answers, frankly, because our opinion is you go to a place of worship, you go to pray, not to talk politics. Whatever your religion, keep your politics out of places of worship.
Well, that community certainly is shaken by what has happened here. Dasen, let me bring you back into the conversation. In terms of the answers that community wants tonight, especially perhaps even on the part of the mosque, has there been any indication that there will be some kind of clarity provided, just so as to curb this conspiracy theories and the speculation that is clearly taking place in that community?
Well, I think the Hawks will certainly have their hands full as they try to find those answers tonight, and especially with those 3 people that entered this mosque still being at large. That means that them getting closer to motives would be, that there might be a delay on that front. The other issue, Kathy, is that, as I mentioned earlier, that those people that were here at the mosque for that prayer had left at that point, which also eliminates some of the witnesses. The other 2 gentlemen that were attacked are currently in a very, very critical condition in hospital, and as you know, the other gentleman passed away. So as I said earlier, the Hawks will definitely have their work cut out for them. That's also exactly what the leadership and the gentleman that I spoke to earlier, one of the founders, is trying to do. He is trying to get as many answers as he can to try and coordinate a response for the community here, because everyone is desperate to find out what went on, and the longer they go without answers, the more these conspiracy theories will continue to float around.
And Dasen, briefly, just before I let you go, have any of those people that were on the scene today, were any of them the family members of those that have been affected by this attack?
We haven't seen the family members just yet, Kathy. What we have seen is a lot of residents coming out of their homes, some driving from further away, coming here to find out what's gone wrong, and those leaders from the mosque that I mentioned. There are also many members of the Muslim community that are also here just to almost console each other and find out what's going on. But we will look out to see if there are any family members. I also would imagine that if the news has reached them at this point, they will also be making their way out to the hospital, Kathy, just to check on the condition of their loved ones.
All right, Dasen, thanks for that. That's where we'll leave it for now. Dasen Thathiah out in Verulam for us, where that attack took place a little bit earlier.